Hey guys, what's happening? Simon here, the DIY car guy. And in today's video, I'm going to be changing the radio in my 2015 Mitsubishi Challenger. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I bought the car, I didn't get the code for the head unit. I know, stupid me, didn't get the code for the head unit. It worked for a little bit, but when I disconnected the battery to change the timing belt, it reset the head unit, and now we can't really do anything with it. So I've got a radio that we took out of my wife's Celica before we sold that. So I'm going to be removing the factory head unit from the Challenger, installing the aftermarket head unit, and I'm also going to be installing a patch harness so I can keep things like the steering wheel controls and all that kind of stuff as well. So let me show you what you need to get this job done, and then we'll head out into the garage, out onto the driveway, and get this job done as fast as possible and as painless as possible without breaking any trim clips. All right, so let's have a look at what you actually need. So you are going to need a radio, obviously. You're going to need two harnesses, and for this particular model car as well, you need a fascia that goes around the radio so it actually sits nice and firm inside of the vehicle. So first up, what you need to do is choose a harness that suits your vehicle, and then you need to choose the harness that suits your head unit as well. So these harnesses here, these patch leads, should allow me to keep steering wheel controls, and I'm going to put a link down in the description for Aerpro so you can check yours out and see what you need for your vehicle as well. So let's head off into the garage and get started. All right, so the first step is to remove this, and you can see that I've already pulled it out because I wanted to show you more so what it looks like on the inside, because I find it's always easier to pull it out and show you first. But the way I did get it out is you need to use I've just got my old expired driving license here. You need to get something back down between this part of the trim and the very front of the dash. It's super tight. I only managed to get like a corner of the driving license in and then slide it along. And there's three clips, and you want to pull them straight back this way towards you, or towards the back seats in the car. There's three of them, and you want to go along the side. There's one here, and then there's one here. Once you've done that, this should just pull straight free, and you can see the three there. So you want to make sure that you get your like expired driving license, credit card, or something like that down here, pull, here, pull, and here, pull. Now you can use a proper trim tool. I don't have one. You can't use a screwdriver because there's not enough space here with the windscreen. But yeah, that's how you get that out without breaking anything. And then here you can see my model has the computer on the top of the radio, so we need to remove that. Now, easiest way to do that is just going to be to remove these screws here on each side. You can remove the whole piece by these, or you can take it all out at once by removing this clip here. So let's just remove these ones here to loosen it off. So I don't have a really small screwdriver, but what I do have is this piece here. It just has a screwdriver bit in one end, and then this just slots into the socket like that. And then can just take it out. Be careful with these. You don't want to just drop them behind the dash, that's for sure. And we'll get the other side out.
A few moments later.
And then you have two more screws down here as well. You can see that one there and this one on the inside. So we're going to take those out.
A few moments later.
So once you have these ones out, where are you? Up here, there's two more down here as well, right down deep in there. So I've already cracked those off So they're nice and loose now. But when you undo these, it's worth having a pair of nice long nose pliers, so when they're almost ready, you can just pull them out. It's not yet ready to come out, but you can just pull it out so you don't drop it down behind everything. All right, so I'm gonna get that done and then pull the radio out. All right, so now I've got those two out at the bottom. We can pull the stereo out. As you pull it out, you notice that the wires come out with it. So first off, let's just disconnect those. This one is for the factory aerial, so you can listen to B105. I don't think like Aggro is still on that. It used to be when I was a kid. And then you've got these connectors down there. So what we're gonna do is just pull the pin up, and you can see on these ones it has depress, pull up. Same on this one. And depress, pull up. Get that one out. And then this one is a down. Oh, almost dropped it, and pull out. So there we go. Can get rid of that. So first we need to find this one that suits the vehicle. So we'll take that out. Then everything should piece together nicely. So you've got these two connectors. These two connectors. So we will go this one on, and this one on. Now, I believe this is for the factory reverse camera. This vehicle has a factory reverse camera fitted. I don't have the harness for that, so I'm not connecting the factory reverse harness, the factory reverse camera. I will do that in another video at a later date. And then this one here, we need to find our other harness, step 2. And then we have these two connectors. They sit together against this clip. So you can see as well which one goes where. So the clip splits in two. You've got the red leads, the black lead, the yellow lead. And here we've got red, black, yellow. So we're going to connect that one. Super simple into there, like that. Just push them together. And then this one is the one with all the speaker cables, and you can see the wires match up, the colors, everything matches up. Piece that together, clip like that, and you can see the purple wires match up with the purple wires. All the wiring colors match up perfectly. Okay, so now that harness is all connected, you can see it's huge. We do have a little adapter box. This little adapter box is for the steering wheel controls, and there is a part on the harness that says, here it is, all the way down here. Everything's super labeled. It's super easy. There we go. Turn that around for you. Steering wheel, and then this box, they just clip together. So I'm going to put the camera back up in my trusty camera stand there. Going to piece that together. But what I also need to do is, this is earthed, okay, so we need to earth it. Now there is one down there, right, little nut and bolt. So I just did crack that off, but not quite enough. It is a 10 mil. Amazing, I've actually got a 10 mil socket, so I'll get that in there, and then you can crack that off. So we can get that in there, so we can get that in there like that, and then in, and then tighten it up. So let's go. All right, so earth is in, little box for the steering wheel, controls is in. Now to change the radios over. So we've got, this is the factory one, this is the aftermarket one. And we need to put these stays on this radio so it can actually sit inside the head unit, and then we can screw it in down here and up here as well. But what you want to do is you want to just sit the head units next to each other, and you're like, okay, cool, how far out is it going to sit? And then measure it off which hole you're going to put it in, because you don't want to put it in like here and then have the head unit sunk all the way back inside. You want it to sit nice and flush. Likewise, you don't want to put them all the way back here and then the head units sit like super proud out here. So what we're going to do is remove these and then screw them in. And I think we're going to use these holes here. All right, so that was super easy. Just screw those in. Like I said, just measure it up, screw them in, you're fine. Make sure you use the same little screws that came out of the factory one. They're super, super, super tiny, as you can see. And they have to be super tiny, because if they go in too far, you're going to damage the board inside of the radio. So that's all in now. This one does have a USB cable. You can see we just taped it together so it doesn't come apart, because it goes behind the dash, and I fed that through. This is my wife's car, as you can tell, into there, and that's the old factory one. That's still there. So just fed that through, and then we can now get our harness and plug that in. These cables out of the way. It's like 1,000 of them. And just slide that in there. Click, just like that. Easy. All right, so that's just about all plugged in. What we're gonna do, lift it up, and we've got, for the aerial, though my wife never listens to the car radio, we've got that here right down the bottom of the screen, and then the factory one. So we're just going to, let's do it over the top actually. Connect those, push those together. And then all of this, I'm gonna try and push it down as far as it can go. In there. Pull this through. Let that slide. There we go. Sits in. Attachment.
A few moments later.
And then we are ready to piece this on, and you just line up those back there. And then there's some down here on either side as well. And it just pushes into place like that. And there we are, all done. And then, as always, key moment of truth. Radio working.